Martha, you had another question?
Yes, just taking a look at the economy.
Yep.
And the hits to local government, to the community, and how local government does serve the community in many different ways. We have law enforcement, social services, and quite a few programs out there. What problems do you foresee in the city of Davis?
Okay.
And how can your office start to deal with these problems today while providing public safety and ensuring that folks, do maintain those critical services that they need?
Right, right. So in my campaign, we announced in early November, and I said I was going to go into a listening mode, and I really wanted to get out and hear from the community and start to understand the problems and some of the solutions that were out there. And I kept looking for themes to distill down to the real essence of the campaign. And we came up with two, and they speak very much to the question that you've just asked. They're money and partnerships. And so we're going to focus on money, and money means the city's budget and making sure we're spending city money wisely. It means thinking about ways to put money in the pockets of our citizens. And there I've talked about energy efficiency already, and I'm also very, very interested in transportation and how we can lower transportation costs. For example, in Davis, we have the opportunity of kind of getting people out of cars. A car can cost anywhere from $4,000 to $8,000 a year. If we find ways for people not to have to buy a new car, why, we've saved them $4,000 to $8,000 a year. So in my house, as our daughters became of driving age, we went from 2 drivers and 2 cars in the house to 4 drivers and 2 cars in the house. And because we live in Davis and because we're committed to bikes and taking the train down to the Bay Area every so often and using the Yolo bus to get up to the airport, we were able to not buy any cars just because we had doubled the number of drivers in our house. So that's one way to save money. But I think more to the point, the second part of our platform is partnerships. And there, in these tough economic times, I think we have to look at the governments that we have right here in our midst and how they can partner better to provide the same level or better services at the same cost or less of a cost. And so we've got the city, the county, the university, the school district, and we've got a tremendous network of nonprofit organizations. And so I want to think of ways and look for ways where we can bring those groups together. University-city partnerships I've already talked about, the wastewater treatment plant evaluation being one of them, and saving on city lighting costs being another. But we've got a fire department at the university and a fire department in the city. We've got police officers on campus and police officers throughout the city, of course. We've got parks maintenance that's done by the county and by the city and by the university. I mean, maybe we don't have to be buying every new piece of equipment for the university or for the city or for the county if we can share. And I've spoken to some of the leaders of all of these organizations, county, city, and university, about this and said, is this feasible? Is this something that we could do? And the answer is yes. And one of the ways you do it is you form a JPA where the governments come together and they share and they coordinate on the insurance and so on. So I think in these tight economic times we need to look for ways to kind of bring government together. It's going to bring people together. I think it will eventually save jobs. I think it's going to provide more creative opportunities for people within their current jobs. So I think there's some options for us, and I want to keep an open mind about them. I want to kind of push on staff and push on fellow leaders to think about ways that we can do this a little bit better. So,
One quick question, specifically on the church and the homeless issue.
mm-hmm.
How would you have voted on that? How would you have handled that?
I would have voted with Don Saylor. I think that the homeless services that are being provided by the network of our faith-based community in Davis are impressive, and I think they're beneficial to our community. And I'd be hesitant to put roadblocks in front of that. I personally wanted to understand this issue. I didn't want to just read pieces of paper, and so through the shelter that's set up in the winter, the Interfaith Winter Shelter, I did intake, I volunteered at Fourth and L. I saw them come in. I worked with them and saw how the system works that way. I then spent a night at Davis Community Church with 22, 24 homeless that we had that night. Those people, I think, would have been a detractant to downtown business. They would have been something that might have made people less hesitant to go downtown if they weren't provided a nice night. And plus, it's incredibly humane simply to take care of our fellow man. So I'm very impressed by that structure. I think that that's a good thing for Davis. I would be hesitant about providing services that overly attract people into Davis, but I don't think that that's the case at this point in time. So I think my firsthand experience in the system gives me a unique perspective, and I'd hope to bring that as the issue continues to be evaluated.
Okay,